Hello and welcome to episode 21 of Game Patrol. I'm your host, Lena Plumley, and joining me today, we actually have someone new because, believe it or not, I know someone other than Bagel. Alright, and so this is Trace Griffiths, actually my nephew. And so, would you care to introduce yourself, buddy?
Hi, I'm Trace Griffiths, as he said, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so this dude hit me up and said, I want to be on your podcast, and I said, okay, bet. And so, Baker would be here today. He's not being replaced or anything like that. He just wasn't feeling well, and so the hope is that the three of us can now helm this podcast together, um, assuming that everything goes well. Also, I'm not even 100% sure if Bakel's gotten a webcam, like a new webcam yet, so I don't even know if we could see his face this week anyway. But other than that, so yeah, I figure before we get into it, I figure since you're the newbie, since you're the rookie, um, if you wanted to tell the audience a little bit about your gaming history, what makes you think you're qualified to be on a gaming podcast, Trace? And let
Um,
us know about your gaming qualities.
well, I play a variety of games. Like, they're nothing, like, I don't play a certain set of games. It's more like I'll play some story-based games, like storyline-based games, or like free roam games. I play a variety of games.
My roommate's watching the debate right now, so I guess it got heated. But um, so yeah, okay, cool stuff. Glad to have you on. So, as usual, we will get into the games coming this week first off. So, actually, a fair amount of games coming out this week. So, first up, today, Ride 4 is out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Are you ready to live the best gaming experience that a motorcycle fan could get? Ride 4 will spark your competitive soul with hundreds of bikes, dozens of tracks, and a whole new level of realism. So this is basically dirt, but specific to motorbikes. So if you're into that, there you go. That's the thing for you. Yeah. Yeah. that's the thing. Also out today, I Am Dead for Nintendo Switch and PC, a game that really speaks to me, both in title and it actually looks like a really cool game. So I Am Dead is a charming puzzle adventure game from the creators of Ho-Ho-Come and Wilmot's Warehouse about exploring the afterlife. It's a really cool indie game that's actually getting really good reviews. The reviews have dropped, at least some of them. So I took a look at a few earlier today, and it's got a really cool aesthetic. It's a really cool, charming indie game. And so if you are one that is really into the unique, like the Celeste, the What Happened to Edith Finch, I'm not necessarily saying this is on like the quality of those games, but like that type of game, I think this is one for you. It looks really cool. If you're interested in that sort of thing. Tomorrow, I had no idea this was a thing. I didn't even like the name, didn't jog anything for me. But then once I actually look into it, I was like, oh. But The Survivalists is coming out to PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. A living world full of surprises, secrets, and danger awaits in The Survivalist, an adventure-filled survival sandbox set in the Escapist universe. Explore, build, craft, and even train monkeys with up to 3 friends in a desperate bid to survive. Have you got what it takes to be a survivalist? So, Trace, I have a question for you. Have you played any of the Escapist games?
Actually, I've played The Escapist 3, I think.
Gotcha. I was curious. I
Yeah.
played like maybe an hour of the first Escapist, but like I know of the games, like I've seen them, and so I had no idea that they were still coming out with stuff. Like I just whatever. But yeah, this is the next game in that like quote unquote franchise or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so this is a survival sandbox. So again, if you are a fan of the Escapists or your sandbox survival games, this is out tomorrow for you guys to enjoy. Also out tomorrow, FIFA 21 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The Legacy Edition is also available on Nintendo Switch, although it is important to note the Legacy Edition is not the same as the regular editions of the game. It's also trash. I mean, I'm just gonna say that because the Switch versions of FIFA, they actually do sell pretty well, but they're very bare bones. And so if you have absolutely no other choice, then okay. But it is vastly inferior to the regular versions, and so don't get it. But football is back with EA Sports FIFA 21, featuring more ways to team up on the street or in the stadium to enjoy even bigger victories with friends. It's more FIFA. Honestly, it hasn't been reviewing super great. None of the sports games have. Like Madden and NBA, FIFA, they're getting kind of drug out because they're like, okay, we're not really seeing anything new here, which is surprising because usually it's the first game of like a new generation that does especially well. Like NBA 2K14 was probably my favorite 2K ever, and was that the year that Madden 25 came out? I think it was. I don't think we had Madden 14 that. No, I think we did have Madden 14. I think Madden 25 was the 2014 game. It's sports game nomenclature. That's a whole other thing. But usually we get really cool stuff because they like take advantage of next gen hardware and it looks super pretty. But none of the sports games have been reviewing well this season, which says something. And it's kind of dumb that sports games even have yearly installments, because why not have a game come out every like 3 years and just do yearly roster updates? Like PES did that this year with they just did a 2021 season update, and it was cheaper. And I think that most people should do that because it's kind of dumb to have a new game every year for a game that never actually changes except for very small, like, I don't mean like the games themselves, like 2K. I just mean like basketball does not change every year. Like there are little small rule changes, but like basketball is the same game as it was like 100 years ago. And so, yeah, but that's a little small rant. Do you have anything to add to that, Trace?
Actually, so my stepbrother owns NFL, or not NFL. Um, oh my goodness. Yeah, Madden. And he said it's literally the exact same as 20. He said the only thing that's changed is their uniforms and the players. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I have Madden, and that was just like, should I like put some time? I don't care. Like I
Right.
don't like. Occasionally, the fun that I have with like Madden and 2K is being able to, like, I enjoy playing career mode on 2K. I enjoy playing career mode or its equivalent on Madden, and just being able to like play as the Colts and act like they're actually a good team every once in a while. It's fun to jump in, but it's not something that I want to spend $60 on. And it's just, to be
Right.
fair, I'm not a huge, like, I am not the demographic. Like, I'm no huge sports fan. I don't get 2K every year. Although if I had to pick one sports game to get, it probably would be 2K. That's always been my favorite, but I also enjoy Madden. FIFA's never really been my thing, but it's all right. But yeah, I played FIFA 20, and like the Volta mode is really cool. But it's back in FIFA 20. Like FIFA 21 didn't do anything. Like it's just more FIFA, and it looks a little prettier. A little, like I say a little, because it's yeah. And so I don't know. The thing is that like a lot of people are like, why are they still coming out every year? Because everyone freaking buys them. That's the thing. When you look at the top sellers every year, it's Madden, 2K, FIFA. Like they are among the top 10. Madden, king among them. And so you can't say like, why are they still selling these every year? Because you're the same person that buys them every single year. And so if you don't want to spend $60 a year on a game, don't. Like like they will eventually, if people are like taking a stand and are like, we don't want these yearly updates that cost $60, and people stop buying it and they start losing money off of this, then they'll switch. But if people are still buying the yearly things, they're not going to stop. I mean, it's easy. They copy and paste the code, make it look a little prettier, add one little new tweak, and then boom, done, ship. Probably takes them like a month. Like, people are like, I don't know how they do this every year, but the dev time is probably so short in these sports games because they just copy and paste everything.
Right. I don't even think it like is a month. I would say like a few weeks. Like they postpone it for the longest time, and then they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, well it's coming around the month. Let's put it out."
Yeah. Well, and then you see, I mean, I think it was. I'm trying to remember the exact situation because my boss is a super huge FIFA fan, and I just remember FIFA 20 came out. Well, really, the past few sports games have come out, and people were really disappointed. Not just in the sameness, but there's been like stuff that's broken about the game, like they're buggy, which it just says even more to like how much time has actually been put into development, because there's a lot of issues that, again, they don't care about. They send it out, and then if people complain enough, then they're like, oh,
Well,
uh,
we'll put that in a patch note.
yeah, we'll patch it. Cool. And then they look like the heroes because, oh, look at what they did to this game. Oh my gosh, they fixed the game. They listened to us. It's like, they didn't give a shit. Do you think they even knew this bug existed? Like, no, they
Right.
didn't. They didn't care. They were just like, all right, let's whip it up and throw it out. I don't know. I'm getting kind of conspiracy theorist. Some of this stuff is probably a little bit over dramatic, but yeah, sports games. I don't know.
They're just not my thing either, though. Like, I've never really gotten big into the sports
Like
games.
2K and Madden, I like those games. I really do. I can't justify getting them every single year. Especially with the amount of games that I play personally. It's just like, I do miss 2K though. I would like to get into a 2K game. I just, I've been told there's absolutely no reason that 2K21 should be that game.
Right.
Same with Madden and FIFA this year. They're just not doing super well. But also, tomorrow, we've got Ben 10 Power Trip for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So, I'll talk about why I kind of smirked there for a little bit. But Evil Hex has cursed Europe, and only Ben 10 can stop him. Explore a 3D world filled with combat, puzzles, and secrets as you save the day. So, I think I don't remember if it was last week. I feel like it was 2 weeks ago. The Troll Hunters game I talked about coming out, where I was like, yeah, this is a kid's game. This is the same lines. Like, this is a kid's game. This looks like absolute garbage. Like, I usually try to talk up a game because I'm like, if you like this, then this could be a thing for you. Like, there have been some games that I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure these aren't going to be good games. But, like, this one, I'm convinced. Like, this looks like a game that I could have made. And I barely know Python. Like, I know very little about programming, and I probably could have made this game. This game looks like absolute human feces. It is garbo, but like it is a kid's game. So the thing is that it doesn't need to be good. Like the
Oh
amount
my
of
gosh, it does.
yeah, like it literally, like the backgrounds look like they took maybe 5 minutes, and they're just like, all right, let's get a PNG and then just slap it on there, and then they just made the character models, and they're like, okay, let's probably give them like 3 combos, and then that's all the kids need, And they're right. That's the thing. I'm like, my God.
It's bad when the Wii version of Ben 10 looks better than this one.
That's facts. That's facts. But hold on. I'm just making sure because I think I accidentally did something to my mic. Okay, we're good. It was sending me weird stuff. I was checking, making sure everything was okay. But yeah. So if you have a kid that's super into the new Ben 10 show, one, show them the original because it's so much better. Two, you can get in this game, I guess. I don't know. It's coming out. Going into next week, or again, still technically this week, but within the next 7 days. On Tuesday, G.I. Joe Operation Blackout comes out on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So G.I. Joe and Cobra are back. G.I. Joe Operation Blackout is a team-based third-person shooter where you play as your favorite characters from Team G.I. Joe and Team Cobra. Experience the action from both sides as you help G.I. Joe restore order and lead Cobra to world domination. So this actually looks like fairly okay. Like it could go either way. Like I can't tell based off of what we've seen so far if it's going to be good or not, but if you're really into shooters and something, it is discounted. Like it's a $40 game, so it's not a full $60 game, and it just seems like a fun, cool thing. So if you're really into G.I. Joe and you're just looking for something because it's been dead for a long time, like the movies kind of killed the franchise, but yeah, if you're really into this, hopefully this means something. But yeah, if you're really into shooters, got a new one that's not $60, and have fun. Also on Tuesday, Remothered Broken Porcelain comes out on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. This one I'm actually like low key. I kind of want. Like I go through and I find like find games coming out this week, and I'm just like, okay, these look sort of cool and whatever. But this is like the one that I've not seen before that I'm just like, wow, I actually might get this game because it looks that good. And so Broken Porcelain brings an abundance of welcome changes to the series, including new gameplay and storytelling elements that breathe new life into the characters and an unprecedented level of immersion into this haunting adventure, perfect for both new and returning fans to the series. So this is like not the first game in the series, like there are more, but it is a survival horror game that looks really good. Like I'm talking like graphically, it is a really pretty looking game, and I'm shocked. Something tells me I've heard of this before, like the Remothered, because there's another one that's, I forget what the subtitle is. It's not just Remothered, but this is the sequel to that.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, it looks really, really good though, and I've never heard of this before. At least Broken Porcelain. Like I said, I might have heard someone mention the other one, but it's a couple of years old. But like, they look really good, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of down for this, especially with like October, and like I'm kind of looking to play some cool things. Like I was playing a bunch of Dead by Daylight earlier this week, and like I want these horror games. It's been so long since I played a good horror game, like a good new horror game. Yeah, I just feel like we've kind of had a slump lately, but it looks cool. It looks cool. And so if you like horror games and you're really trying to find a good fix for your Spooktober, yeah, there's one coming out on Tuesday, and it looks really cool. And so, also on Tuesday, Torchlight 3 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So my top-down RPG people, y'all already know what this one is. So in Torchlight 3, okay, please don't murder me in the comments. Novastraya is again under threat of invasion, and it's up to you to defend against the Netherim and its allies. Gather your wits and brave the frontier to find fame, glory, and new adventures. So this game came out in early access a few months ago, and it's already coming out. Like, this is one of the fastest turnarounds for an early access game I've seen. Like, usually they're at least a year, if not more. Is DayZ still in early access? I think, I don't know, I have no idea. But, yeah, this game's coming out of early access, and yeah, I mean, Torchlight 2 was a huge hit. The first one was as well. I played a little of Torchlight 2. Again, if you're a fan of top-down RPGs, more like PC tailored RPGs, this is the game for you. Early access has been received fairly well, so it'll be interesting to see how people like the full release. But yeah, have you heard of the Torchlight franchise at all, Trace?
No, but I've played a game somewhat like it. I can't remember what it was, but I've played a game somewhat like it.
Yeah, I mean, the Torchlight franchise is a pretty significant one. Like, it serves as a lot of inspiration for other top-down RPGs. It is a fairly old franchise, but it's one of those where like 3, I could see going either way. Like, it could be really, really good and like really reinvigorates the franchise, or like the Torchlight franchise kind of paved the way for what top-down RPGs could become, and that's cool and all. But, like, now we have a lot of other top-down RPGs that have done it, frankly, better. And so these devs coming back and being like, hey, we're back. Like, it might be a little outdated now. You know what I mean? Like, there have been games that have done that. I'm trying to think. I don't want to say because this is a really good game, but, like, Wasteland 3, some people were like, this is a really, really good game, but it hasn't exactly been done before because Wasteland literally, like, that was the top-down RPG in the 80s, and then in 2014, Wasteland 2 came out and did the same thing. And so with 3 that just came out a few months ago, people were like, this is a really good game. It just doesn't do anything new. I personally loved it. I thought it was awesome. But, like, they kind of, long franchises run the risk of doing that. It's kind of the same thing with COD and Battlefield, and what we just talked about with the sports games, where it's like, yeah, they were kings of their craft, but now it's like you can only do it so many times before you have to kind of move on. But I could see that being a problem here, but maybe not. So, get into the gaming news. It's been kind of a slow week this week, and so we've had just a slew of next gen news over the past like month, and so now it's just finally like we're in the calm before the storm. I feel like October is just going to be a really slow month in general. But first up, PlayStation trophy levels are getting updated, and they've been confirmed to transfer over to PS5. So now, this was kind of confusing to me at first when I first read it. I was like, wait, what? So now PlayStation trophy levels, instead of like max level being 100, it's going to be 999. And so with that, it's going to take less to level up. So it's really weird. Like, you'd think this would be if, like, because like a bunch of people were at like level 100, they would just like raise the cap. You'd think it. No, that's not it. They're just changing it so like it requires less to level up. I don't know if they're just like, we're tired of having 90% of our players stuck from like level 1 to 5, so let's just like make them seem like they play games more. And so it's like your level's gonna scale. So like, for instance, I think I'm like level 7 on PlayStation. I don't play a ton of PlayStation games, and so now I'm gonna be, God, I don't know, like at the very least in the teens, or like maybe a little bit more than that. But like, I'm gonna scale up because instead of like taking more trophies to level up, it'll take a lot less now. So they're not just like raising the level cap or whatever. They're just turning it into a 1,000 system versus 100 system, which is weird. I don't know exactly why they're doing it, but I mean, again, like I said, I feel like the most logical reason is because of making the gamers feel like they're gamers, like making the softcore gamers feel like they're not, to try to be like, wow, I play video games a lot more than I thought. Maybe I should do this more. It's there's some validity behind it, like psychologically speaking, it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. I don't know how much that's gonna actually affect things. But what's your level on PlayStation, Trace?
Mine, I want to say like 7 to 10, somewhere around there.
I figured.
Because I play on my PC more than I do my PS4.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, that's gonna change, and they did confirm it was gonna transfer to PS5 because Sony has been notorious for not saying a single freaking thing about that console if they don't have to. And so we finally have confirmation that, hey, yeah, we're gonna have PlayStation trophies on PS5. Like, they're not gonna change that or whatever. But it's whatever. So next up, Wolfenstein, Dishonored, and Prey collections are seemingly coming to Xbox Series, which is sort of an interesting. There's a lot of stuff to unpack here. So there has been a leaked ESRB rating for both. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm calling these correctly. The Wolfenstein Alt History Collection and Dishonored and Prey: The Arcane Collection. So these are two separate packages that each are described as having 4 games, with Wolfenstein having the New Order, the Old Blood, the New Colossus, and Youngblood. And then Dishonored and Prey having Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Death of the Outsider, and Prey. And so technically it's 4 games, but like with Wolfenstein, 2 of those are like not $60. Like the Old Blood was an expansion, and Young Blood was a discounted game, whereas Death of the Outsider was an expansion for Dishonored 2. But technically they are standalone, so they're not lying when they say it's 4 games. But they both got rated for Xbox Series, not PS5 or PC or anything else, just Xbox Series. So this might be an exclusive collection to bring over, since they just bought out Bethesda, and so now it's like maybe they're already starting to make some moves, maybe. I don't know, but it's interesting, and it could be that they're not just on Xbox Series. It could just be the ones that happen to leak. They could be coming everywhere, but it's very, very interesting that it's the one platform to be leaked right after this acquisition. I wouldn't 100% discount it. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I don't really know, because like the Wolfenstein, I've heard, are like really good games.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it would be nice to see them, like all of them, come to PS4, but I mean, I guess that's all in what they reference on, like if they want them to stay on one platform or go to all.
So there's a lot of things that I have issues with in the statement you just made, and so I'm going to call you out on it.
All right, let's hear
Yeah.
it. Let's hear it.
So one, the fact, okay, Wolfenstein, they are great games for sure, but Dishonored, the first Dishonored is one of the best games I've ever freaking played. It is amazing, and you need to play it.
I never dissed on Dishonored.
I
I'm
know,
just
I know, I
saying
know.
I've
It's just the
just heard
thing.
good
I
things.
I know. I'm just saying. I know you've heard good things about Wolfenstein, but Wolfenstein is but a small pebble compared to the gloriousness that is Dishonored. But Wolfenstein is also great. But secondly, I'm trying to decide if all of these games are or not. I believe they are. All of these games are on PS4 already.
They are.
Yeah, like they've been on PS4. The question would be if they'd be on PS5. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I meant like transferring them over, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cause let's see. Yeah, Dishonored had a next gen upgrade. I remember, so I know Dishonored's on PS4 and like all the subsequent games. The New Order is the one that I'm like, cause cause the New Order came out in 2014, so it was in time for PS4. PS4s were out, so yeah, all these games are out on PS4 already. It's interesting to see this new generation, and it's like they're coming out with these collections for people that might have skipped last gen or something, or just haven't played these games. But it's like it could not potentially come to PS5. Now, granted, there's a good chance all these games are going to be backwards compatible. So it's like you can play the
Right.
PS4 versions of these games, but it could be that this collection maybe offers like enhanced graphics or something like that you won't be able to get on PS5 since it might not be coming there. But you could still probably play these games on PS5. And also probably on Xbox Series, they're probably backwards compatible with that too. But yeah, this is a thing that's happening. I guess maybe we don't even know. But yeah, so Bethesda, amazing studios. They're amazing, and yeah, play Dishonored. So freaking good. I love it. I love it to death. But next up, I made this mostly for Bakel because he loves Ghost of Tsushima, but he's not here. But Ghost of Tsushima Legends, their co-op mode, which is free, is out next week. So the Ghost of Tsushima Legend update will also bring New Game Plus, armor loadouts, all sorts of cool stuff, and it is coming out on October 16th. And so this is really exciting. I'm happy about this because I love Ghost of Tsushima. It's one of the best games I've played this year, period. And so I'm really excited because can't remember, I think we said this on the podcast a while ago, but when Ghost of Tsushima first came out, Bakel and I literally got in a party chat and we would play together, but not because it's a single player game. And so we would play through it and we'd be like, oh my gosh, did you see this area? And they'd be like, what? No. And so we would literally like stay up all night playing Ghost of Tsushima together, but not. So now we can actually play together. And so I'm really excited. Like I'm excited to have an excuse to jump back into Ghosts. And so, yeah, that's coming out on the 16th, and I'm really excited. Did you ever have a chance to pick up Ghost?
No, I didn't. And I was actually gonna ask you if it was good or not, like opinion based.
It's so good. It's so
I've
good.
watched I've watched so many streams on it. It looks amazing with the graphics and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't it's caught my attention so many different times. It's just like I've always thought, is it worth the money? Or should I wait for it to drop some?
It's worth it. It's 100% worth it. But the thing that's got me kind of like where I'm like oddly weird about people. So like critics when they reviewed this game, it didn't get bad reviews at all. It was like I think it's like has like an 83 on Metacritic, but it wasn't like this critical acclaim or anything like that. People were like, yeah, it's really good, but the combat can get repetitive and blah blah blah. But then anybody talks about this game, like if you bring up Ghost of Tsushima, they're like, oh my gosh, like what, but I don't know. Everybody talks this game up, but the review scores were like, again, not bad, but they weren't like Game of the Year-esque. But I guarantee this will be in Game of the Year like talks. It's just interesting. It's kind of like how Green Book was, that one movie, how it got mediocre reviews, but then it won Best Picture. I'm thinking this might be a situation like that. I don't know if Ghost will necessarily win Game of the Year because that's obviously going to go to Cyberpunk. But yeah, I don't know. It's a fantastic game. I personally love the combat. I've heard people talk trash about it, but everybody I know that's played it loves the combat. I think it's the best combat I've ever played out of any video game ever. Period. That's not something I say lightly. Like, it is so freaking good. The combat in that game, like I love it. Yeah, no, Ghost of Tsushima is one of the best games I've played all year, and I've played a lot of games this year. So, highly recommend it. But next up, speaking of Cyberpunk, it's gone gold. So they did that just after they announced that, these devs are working 6-day weeks. They've announced that they're finished. This does not mean that the devs are done, like their 6-day weeks are done. Basically, when a game goes gold, that means that they have a version of the game that is the version that they have done is going on the discs. It is technically not the final version because nowadays we have day one patches, and so there are probably plenty of bugs for this game. But, this is the disc that they are going to ship out to all the reviewers because, yeah, we still have another 6 weeks until this game comes out. But it is a lengthy game, and so they're probably shipping this out to reviewers pretty soon, if not already. And so they needed to get this done and out, and so the reviewers are probably going to have a fairly buggy game. We won't because we'll get a day one patch, and that's what these next 6 weeks hold for the devs, like these 6-day weeks. That it's all bug patching, like just finding as many bugs as they can and trying to fix as many as they can before launch. And so they send out that probably pretty big day one patch fixing all of it. And so reviewers do not get that luxury. But yeah, but it has officially gone gold. There is a fully playable build that can, be potentially leaked right now. Please, Lord God, no. I will pay money for this game. I'll probably buy God knows how many copies. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
I was just about to say I can't wait for this game to actually come out because I've watched so many like previews and trailers of this and it looks amazing.
It's been my most anticipated game since like 2015 probably. Like since The Witcher came out, I was just like, all right, what's next? And then they're like, yeah, Cyberpunk. I'm like I'm so excited. And just to know that like it's done, it's not going to get delayed again, most likely, knock on wood. But like, I'm so excited to play this game. I'm going to no life it. Like, that's literally it. Like, I don't know if I've actually said this in public yet. I've told some people. But I'm going to do a 24-hour live stream right at launch. Ooh. Because, I just really want to do a 24-hour live stream. And two, like, yeah, I just love this game. And so, like, I've already told my boss, like, that weekend, I'm not coming into work. We already had a discussion. Luckily, he's a gamer, so he gets it. But I'm like, listen, I'm busy that weekend. I'm not coming in. Just letting you know. And so I'm going to play the living crap out of this game. And I'm so excited. I'm going to eat, sleep, and breathe Cyberpunk. But I'm also going to play on PC because PC Master Race. But, yeah, so it's done. Kind of. And then, last up, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Next DLC fighters got announced. And it's Steve from Minecraft. People are like, oh my gosh, how did nobody saw this coming? Yeah, they did. Like, this was a trending thing for a while. I think people kind of gave up on it. Like, people didn't really care anymore. But when people were predicting DLC characters for Smash, a lot of people mentioned Steve. Like, I don't know how, like, they were like, he's 100% coming. But, like, it was talked about. Like, they were like, okay, yeah, Steve from Minecraft. And so, yeah, we've got Steve. And we also have Alex, Enderman, and Zombie as Echo Fighters. And so we're getting Steve in Smash, which is cool. I love Smash. It's literally my most played game on the Switch. I have over 100 hours into it. It is so freaking good. And so I always jump back in when there's a new fighter. I don't play like regularly anymore, but like I said, when they drop a new fighter, I master them like Min Min. I was so excited to have another chance to jump into Smash, and Min Min was really fun. And so I'm excited to play Steve next week because I believe I think it's the 13th is when he drops. But yeah, I'm excited. What's your experience with Smash, Trace?
Besides playing it at like friends' house or like against somebody, I haven't really had much experience with the game.
So good. It's so good. I love Smash. I'm not great at it. Like I'm no pro, but I love Smash. It's so good. But yeah, that wraps up the news for this week. Now getting into something, I was having a conversation with a friend, because PS5's coming out soon. I'd be doing the save up grind to get that. And so I was like trying to figure out, cutting costs so that I can save up because 2020 sucks and so we're all broke. But trying to figure out, how can I get some money for the PS5? And I was like, okay, I need to cut back on some subscription services. And then I realized how many subscription services I have for gaming. I am subscribed to Game Pass, EA Play Pro, Uplay Plus, PlayStation Now, PlayStation Plus, Switch Online, Stadia Pro, GeForce Now, all this shit. Like, I am paying, like, probably $200 a month in subscription services. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, do I really use these? And so the thing I want to talk about this week is, are subscription services good for the industry? And the main thing I want to talk about first is Game Pass. Because Game Pass is by far the best subscription service. If you have anything to counteract that, you're wrong and you're stupid. Like, at this point, that's not even like a hard. That's just literal fact. Like, nobody can argue that Game Pass is literally the best deal in gaming, period. $10 and you get hundreds of games. Hundreds. There's over 200 games in the PC library right now and even more on Xbox. Like, Game Pass is incredible. It is a phenomenal deal. It is a steal. And yeah, it's a great thing. But then there's other things, not so much. And when I say that, I'm talking EA Play Pro. Because it's literally, I'm trying to remember if it's 10 or 15 a month. I think it might be 15 a month, which is more than Game Pass. And you get access to all of EA's games. Actually, technically not all. They're not all. But you get the EA games at launch, which is FIFA, Madden, and Star Wars Squadrons. That's it. You'll get Need for Speed Remastered. That's cool. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, in past years, yeah, because you get the new Battlefield, you get, Jedi Fallen Order, stuff like that. But EA's been pretty quiet this year. It's not worth it to have that subscription service. Uplay Plus. Yeah, we're getting Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6. That's all cool. But this summer, why have it? I'm like, why? Okay. And you're paying $10, $15 a month for Uplay Plus. I think it's 15. PlayStation Now. To be fair, it is a pretty good service. Like, it's a fun way to access PS3 and PS2 games, and they've been adding some pretty cool games from PS4 onto there. But when you compare it to Game Pass, it's just so.
It has nothing on Game Pass, though, if you think about it.
It's so irrelevant. Has nothing on Game Pass. It's like Game Pass is literally, you get all of the new Xbox games. You get a bunch of like other new games that aren't even first party, like The Medium and Scorn. Those are like the big like Series X games. They're launching day and date on Game Pass, and they're not even first party. The Outer Worlds was also not a first party game. It launched on Game Pass. Spiritfarer, a bunch of really cool indie games launch on Game Pass. Games don't launch on PS Now. And PlayStation has came out and said that they're not going to do a Game Pass model because it's not sustainable, to their point. Because literally Microsoft has come out and said, we're not making money off of Game Pass. We're basically using it to get people into the ecosystem, and we're hoping that in the long run it will be profitable. But they're losing money from Game Pass because it's just that freaking cheap. Like, $10 for Game Pass is a steal. Like, it should be $20. It really should. And I wouldn't mind paying that. That's the thing. Like, now, yes, like, obviously I want to pay the least amount of money as possible, but like, we're robbing Microsoft right now. They are straight up being robbed. And so paying $20 a month to play Halo at launch versus 60, hell yeah. Like, what, who would, like, and then Gears, Forza, any game. I mean, Forza Motorsport 7 just came to Game Pass finally. So they're bringing older, like, Microsoft games onto Game Pass. We're going to get all the Bethesda games. Play Starfield right at launch on Game Pass. $10 a month. It's insane. Like, it's a heck of a deal. Others, I don't know. And so the main thing that I want to say about subscription services is that there's a lot of them, and some are better than others. Like I say, like Game Pass, 100%. Like, yeah, get it. It's phenomenal. It's 100% worth your money. But others, it's like at this point we're getting oversaturated with gaming subscription services to the point where it's like they either need to drop in price or they just need to not exist. And so I'm curious, Trace, as to your thoughts on this about, what subscription services do you have, if any? Like, do you think they're good for the industry, that sort of thing? What are your
Um,
thoughts?
See, I've been thinking about it, and I've been thinking about dropping PlayStation Plus. Reason being is because I buy it by the year,
Yeah, same.
and that's what, $60,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. Yeah, that's literally like buying a brand new game, but you're getting like some games aren't even good, and you don't want them, but they're free. Like, do you really want to download them, or do you
I,
just want to let them go and then pick them back up later
I can't
when they're
remember the last time I got a PlayStation Plus game. I never pick them up because it's like, if I want them, I'll just buy them.
right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like there's good things about subscription services. If you don't buy a whole lot of games, well, actually, it's more so if you do buy a lot of games and you're just like, you want to save some money, you can just get, like, if you really love Ubisoft games and that's like all you play, just get Uplay Plus, because then you don't have to buy any of them and you just get all the new ones like day and date. Same with EA or like Game Pass or any of this other stuff. But if you're all over the place, if you don't buy a whole lot of games, if you're just like, I only buy Madden and FIFA and Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed, it's not worth it to pay this monthly subscription for all these games that, like, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of good games on all of these. Like Game Pass, of course. You can play Assassin's Creed 2, you can play Watch Dogs, you can play a bunch of other cool games, you can play all the Far Cries, all that is access for free with your subscription. Same with EA Play, you get Mass Effect, you get Dead Space, get all these other awesome games. But it's in terms of like, this is something you don't need to pay for every month. Like, if you haven't played these games, get it for a month or two. Grind through all the cool older games. But other than that, I don't know if it's worth it. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's FOMO is a big part of it, at least for my experience. If I don't have these subscription services, I'm like, what if they come out with something really cool and I don't have it, and then I'm gonna have to be alone and I don't have it. Oh my gosh.
I want it, but I can't get it.
Yeah, don't fall into that trap like I did. I canceled a lot of these. I last night I canceled Uplay Plus. I canceled EA Play Pro. I know I just talked a lot about Game Pass. I did cancel Game Pass. I still have it, but like, it's only because I want that PS5 money. I'm gonna get Game Pass back. I love you. If I had a genuine reason to keep Game Pass, like if there was a game coming out that I really wanted to play, I would keep Game Pass. It's just like right now we're in a bit of a lull, especially on Microsoft's end because Halo got delayed. But yeah, that's the only reason I canceled Game Pass. I do intend on getting it back. It is the love of my life. But, if I canceled PlayStation Now, I don't know why I even had PlayStation Now in the first place. Like, I rarely used it. I've never beaten the game on PS Now. I played a little bit of GTA on there. I played a little bit of Control. Actually, no. I downloaded Control, but I never even played it. Like, I never used PlayStation Now. And I was paying, what was it, $5 a month for it?
5 to 7, somewhere around there.
I wasn't playing these freaking games, and I was paying these subscriptions that I'd never even used. Uplay Plus, the only game I ever played on there was South Park: The Fractured But Whole, and I had that for like 2 or 3 months. And like, yeah, I didn't need that. I didn't need it. EA Play Pro, I bought it, downloaded Jedi Fallen Order, never used it. I never played it. I played a little bit of Mass Effect because like I've played them, but I've never actually owned Mass Effect. I own 2, but I've just played it. I've gotten EA Play and used it to grind through Mass Effect. But yeah, I got rid of that. I don't use it. I don't freaking use it. Like, I don't get my money's worth out of it. So yeah, get them out of here. Are we really saving money on these things? Not really. Game Pass, yes. Everything else, not really. And so, yeah, that's my long spiel on subscription services. I think that they're really cool. I think that they're a good thing, but it's one of those things where you have to really look at it as a case by case basis on whether or not you need to be spending your money on this, because it's one of those things where subscription services are great if you're really ingrained into the architecture of what they're selling you. Like if you're a really big Ubisoft game player or a really big EA game player or Microsoft or whatever. If you're not, don't do it. You're not getting FOMO. There's no Game Pass specific things that are like, you can only get with Game Pass xCloud technically. But like, there's no big thing that it's like, you have to be subscribed to Game Pass right now or you will not get these things. You can get them all elsewhere. If you're not a super big game player, if you don't play a lot of games, if you're not spending a lot of money in games, you don't really need to. And it's something that I'm mostly telling myself because I need to stop. I play a lot of games, but I don't really buy a whole lot of games anymore. That's the thing. The only games... Like, November is going to be my big month because Godfall, Cyberpunk, Demon's Souls, Miles Morales, all of those. I'm getting all of them. I would also like to get Sackboy and Destruction All-Stars. We'll see. But Godfall and Cyberpunk, absolutely, for sure. Miles Morales and Demon's Souls, I would love to have those. If anything, I would pick Demon's Souls because I can get Miles Morales on my PS4, so whatever. But Demon's Souls, that's going to be my PS5 game. Like, that is the game I'm going to sink a ton of hours into on my PS5 when I get that thing. But, yeah, other than that, it's like, I don't buy a whole lot of games. I'm not going to get the new Call of Duty unless it's, like, amazing or something like that. What's another big game coming out? I feel like there was another one. I was thinking Crash, but that's already out. I'm more so thinking about towards the future. But it's like, I'm not really concerned about new games. I have my games that I'm like, okay, I'm going to get. Other than that, I'm just like, I don't really buy a whole lot. And mostly because sometimes it's because of these subscription services, with Game Pass. Like, I can't remember the last time I bought a Microsoft game. I think the last one was Gears 4. It was either Gears 4 or Horizon 3, whichever one came out last. That was the last Xbox game I bought, I think. The rest I've just gotten through Game Pass, and so that's a great deal. But, Ubisoft and EA games, I don't know. I'd rather just buy them,
Right.
I don't buy them often enough. But yeah, so that's that.
The only two Ubisoft games that I would buy if I were to like buy them or like get a subscription would be Rainbow Six Siege and Steep. Those are the only games that I played that involve Ubisoft.
Of all the Ubisoft games to play.
Hey,
Pick
Steep's
Steep.
fun.
It's something, all right. All right. So, get into the games that we've been playing this week. We've actually been playing a fair amount. So, I think like all of these except for one have been I was streaming a lot this week. But of course I played a little bit more Fall Guys. Although I finally cracked. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm just kind of done with Fall Guys. I'm burned out. I have over 40 hours into it, so it's definitely, I've gotten my $20 worth. But, yeah, I was playing it, and I was, like, getting ready to stream later that night, and I was like, I'm tired of playing Fall Guys. I'm tired of this. It's like, okay, I'm done. And so I just started playing Mass Effect, because I really wanted to play Mass Effect. And so, yeah, I've been playing some Mass Effect, having fun with that, because, it's amazing. I played some Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, which is a pretty fun game. I enjoyed it. But yeah, that's a thing. I was getting ready for Age of Empires 3. Now I'm not even really trying to play it because I've been like, there's other games I want to prioritize my time with. I've been trying to beat Control for the past like month, 2 months. So like I'm finally gonna do that now because I'm like, nah, I want to play this game. So I'm putting some other games on the back burner, but I also played some Halo Wars 2 for the first time, which is also a fun game. It's reminding me a lot of Wasteland, just because I played that recently, and so this is basically if Wasteland was strictly a shooter. And then I played Dead by Daylight on Stadia. I've never played that game before. I've seen a ton of gameplay. It's not like an unknown game to me, but I never personally played it myself. One, it runs like a dream on Stadia. Freaking love it. Two, the reason I played it is because I streamed it on YouTube because it is the first game on Stadia to have crowd choice, and so it was really fun to be able to just have my viewers interact and like choose whether I was the killer or the survivor. I had a really good time, And yeah, I will stream that again because it was really fun. I'm also going to be streaming Baldur's Gate 3 next week because it is the second game with Stadia to have crowd choice where the audience can actually decide like story decisions, like how you respond to people, which I think is really cool. So I'm going to check that out next week. I'm really excited to play that game. But yeah, I played some Dead by Daylight, and then I played Crysis Remastered because I love the Crysis franchise. And when this came out, I was like, I should pick this up. And I finally cracked and picked it up last week. And it makes me sad. For, like, Crysis was the big thing, you know? It was like, can I run Crysis? And to be fair, it has some beefy specs. Like, there's literally, I think I ran it on medium settings, and I have a 2070. So, like, I have a good PC, and it's just not, it was just like, nope, you gotta get on there, like, but when I got to playing it, granted, I wasn't on, like, full max settings or anything, it was okay, but, like, it was not, like, this most beautiful game I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was a 2007 game. You could definitely tell that got, you know, touched up a little bit, but it was, like, it was okay. I mean, I don't know. I was a little disappointed by it, but I also didn't play for like a ton of time, so maybe there would be other things that might look a little bit better. But I would much rather have Crysis 4 at this point. But, you know, not me. And so, yeah, I played a bunch of games this week. What about you, Trace?
The games that I've been playing this week are Among Us, which I'm kind of pretty burnt out on it because I've been playing it a lot more than I should. I played a bit of Rust. It wasn't too terribly much.
I've never really gotten into Rust. I've never been a huge fan of that.
Really?
It's just, it doesn't grab me.
I don't know. I was debating on getting Rust or the Forest. My mind was iffy on that, and I, for some reason, decided to choose Rust. Modern Warfare is the same way. I'm on and off with it. I barely play it.
Now,
It's
Modern
still
Warfare, are you talking like the actual full game or just Warzone?
the full game.
Gotcha.
But I've just been off and on with it. Like when I get bored of like Skater XL, which I have been playing that a lot. I'll just hop on Modern Warfare to have some fun. Skater XL, just like a free roam skating game, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you'd put it. CS:GO, mostly surf. I just mess around on surf, talk to people. And then Need for Speed I got today, and I was just messing around on it before we hopped on.
Is that the one that's free with PS Plus?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I've been trying to, because I haven't played a Need for Speed game since Most Wanted, I think, which is conveniently the one that's getting remastered now. But, yeah, I've been meaning to check out the newer Need for Speed games. They just have been kind of meh in reviews, so I was like, okay. But when I was legitimately interested when this got announced as like a free game with PS Plus, I was like, maybe I should grab that. But
So far off the start, it's a fun game. I have Need for Speed Rivals, I think.
mhm.
I haven't really gotten into Rivals, but I feel like Need for Speed Payback is something that I'm actually going to get into.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And so, with that, again, like we had a little bit of a slower news week, and so this is why this is a little bit of a shorter episode. But we're gonna get out of here for this week. Thank you guys for watching, listening, however the heck you interacted with us this week. Trace, where can people find you? Is there anything you want to plug? Anything like that?
Not yet.
All right, making sure. But, like I said, that was Trace Griffiths. I'm Landon Plumley. And, like I said, I stream on Twitch Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then I also now stream on YouTube. I was going to stream on the YouTube channel that this was, that Game Patrol is on. But I found out after the fact that, at least after I recorded last week's episode, that to stream with Stadia, like with this crowd control or crowd choice features, it has to be live streamed to the Google account that you've connected Stadia with, which is not the one that my channel is a part of. So I had to revive my dead ass channel, like from like 2015. It has over 100 subs, and so it's actually technically better off than the channel I use now. but most of them are interactive. So I stream on there. And so it was actually a good time. I had somebody who's been subscribed to me since like 2014 just pop up and was like giving me a bunch of like Dead by Daylight tips, which was nice. And so that was cool. But yeah, I had a good time. It was just, it's kind of a bummer that I can't stream on the channel I use now. So like I had to bring back my dead channel. I had to go through and delete a bunch of videos. I didn't delete all of them. I kept some, but I spent like, it was like 2 in the morning one morning, and I was just like scrolling through deleting old videos. I'm like, these are terrible. Oh my god. But yeah, that was a fun night. But yeah, I stream on YouTube on Mondays. Again, same time, 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And starting next week, I'm also going to be streaming on Fridays. So it'll be Tuesday, Thursdays on Twitch, Monday, Fridays on YouTube. YouTube, I just stick with Stadia games, the crowd choice, as a fun way to interact with people because it is YouTube exclusive. And so, again, I'll be like switching between Dead by Daylight and Baldur's Gate 3. And then, any other game that comes out with crowd choice, because Stadia likes to like surprise drop games. They're just like, oh yeah, Doom, it's now here on Stadia. It takes forever, but like they don't give a whole lot of warning. So I don't know if we're gonna get any new crowd choice games soon, but if they drop, I'll be playing them, and so that's what I focus on with YouTube. Whereas on Twitch, I'm kind of all over the place. I stream all sorts of stuff. So if you haven't checked either of those out, I implore you to check that out. My other YouTube channel is literally just Pandamaster. It's the same thing. Literally like the same channel art, like avatar or whatever, the profile picture, everything. It's just I live stream there. So yeah, go ahead, check me out there if you so wish. Trying to think if there's anything else left to plug. You can find me on Twitter at Plumley_Landon. That's usually where I announce all this stuff. But yeah, it was super fun having you here, Trace. Glad you could make it. And we'll be back next week for some more gaming fun times. All right. Bye.